meeting before the MLK video. Oh, we'll have one more actually. But anyways, Sylvie's going to give an update.
All right. Well, let me know, Nikki, when you're ready on your end, and I can call the meeting to order.
I think we're ready, but Lonnie's not in here. Let me see. I'm not sure. But did you get the this indicator? You want one?
Oh, the agenda?
Agenda.
I already have one.
You got agenda.
I didn't get one. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's sick.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's like, okay. Earl called me and he's running late. So it's a trap doesn't work.
Paige told me yesterday she's not going to be able to make the meeting.
Whenever you're ready, I mean.
All right. Hello, everybody. I now call this meeting of the Lakewood Arts Commission to order. I apologize. I'm Zooming today. There was a maintenance issue at my daughter's daycare, so I had to go and pick her up. So I am home tonight, so I apologize, but it's good to see you all. All right. And Sally, it's good to see you too. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. All right, so approval of meeting minutes from our last meeting that was held on November 6th. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
I'll second.
As is.
All right, thank you. Motion passed. All right, and moving right into the public art policy review. Sally, did you want to say a few words?
Actually, I'm going to let Lonnie preface it quickly and then lead this section.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, everybody. So after we had our group meeting last month, essentially we went through this whole thing with a fine-tooth comb again and deleted a lot of redundant language. We just had a lot of the same bullet points coming into a variety of different sections. And we kind of retitled and renumbered it a little bit so it would be easier. And the cover, and then I tried to write a cover letter memo that kind of spells it out. But basically section 1 is how we choose artists. So with the open roster is an option, direct selection is an option, there's these different categories. And then section 2 is the criteria for the art. So basically that there's a request for proposal and what are the things that go into that. And then yeah, I think it's fairly self-explanatory, how we review and approve. And then if the city gets art on loan, there's some language in there that there's a contract that would have to be signed. If the city just purchases art, some of that language didn't really change from the last time we went through it. And then decommissioning of artwork. So in a nutshell, we took something that was 10 pages long and we shortened it down to 6.
Always good.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just tried to be more clear and more direct. The city has some language that was already approved for renaming streets or parks, or so there's a couple places where we lifted some language directly because it's sort of a similar similar topic and the way how, things are adopted, so. We think city council, of course, will recognize that because they already know that language from, renaming streets or parks. So that's the scoop. So if we approve this draft, then, it will go forward to city council and be presented next week. I believe that is. And if there's any questions of me, feel free.
Lonnie, didn't it change the length of time between when something gets donated to when it can be put out to the public? Didn't you actually change the number of years? I think
Yeah,
that's like the type
yeah.
of thing we want to go over those
If-
types of things.
Yeah, so if, that's specifically if somebody has a piece of memorial work that they want done. So you would find that on page 5. So that's basically some kind of, commemoration of either a person or people or a specific event. We had it as 1 year and we've switched it to 36 months, and I don't remember where the 36 came from.
with the naming policy.
Is it okay, the naming policy? So, and the idea behind it, of course, is if you're having some kind of a commemoration, it's probably an emotionally charged situation. So it's good to have a little bit of time and space to determine, if we're gonna do that or not. So it's very specific to that, that type of artwork, if we have it coming through. And then in section 4, what's a little bit different about section 4 is that theoretically, so it's a donation or some type of acquisition, or somebody wants a memorial. So that's perhaps somebody coming from outside of the city requesting, artwork, or to donate artwork, or they want some kind of artwork made. Or city council, perhaps, somebody on city council wants some kind of artwork made. It's not our typical art process. So there's basically whoever's making that proposal they have an application process that they have to go through. And so we spelled that out. So there's the name of the applicant, what they're proposing, the artwork would be, the background of the artwork. And then then it would fold back into our art process, to review the artist and or work. So, did that help address that, Sally?
Thanks, Lonnie. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So just a reminder that this is being presented to City Council this month. So this is our last opportunity to vote to accept this version before it gets passed along.
Next week.
Next week.
Next Monday.
So we'll just need an approval.
You
Is
want a
everyone-
motion? That would.
Do we need were you asking a motion to approve?
Revised.
Yeah. All right, yeah, has everyone had a chance to look through the draft?
Yeah.
All right, so if we are ready, then do we have a motion to approve the updated draft to present to
I
city
motion to
council?
approve.
Second,
Right here.
I make a motion that we approve the revised draft as indicated.
And I second that.
Great, awesome. Thank you, everybody, for all your work to revise that.
Yeah, thank you, Lonnie.
Yeah.
Nikki, Mary, we were a power team working on it. It was good. It was good to go through.
6 pages, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, next order of business is a review of our 2024 work plan.
So you have all seen this before, but I just wanted your eyes on it one more time before it goes to city council as well. Emily, you could read through it if you want briefly.
Yes, I can do that. Okay. I am lost in my own draft. Probably be easier if I had it up on my own screen. Here we go. All right. So you want me to just go through the actual work plan or the entire document?
Well, just the main points of the work plan, and just a reminder to everyone that this is what we're saying the Arts Commission is going to work on in 2024 and accomplish. So we want to make sure it's reasonable. We feel like we can do it. We're excited about it and passionate about it. And it's always just a good reminder to read through it, to know where we're headed in 2024 and the type of work we're going to be doing for the community.
Perfect. All right. Okay, so our meeting schedule, the first Monday of the month, in American Lake Room at City Hall from 5 to 6:15. We have two subcommittees on the Arts Commission. The first one is public art. This includes our utility box wraps, murals, special events, rotating art, and then performing arts subcommittee, which includes some of our events like the Fiesta de la Familia, our street festivals on Motor Ave, summer concert series, and our holiday parade every December. So for our work plan for 2024, first item is the Saturday street festivals at Motor Ave Plaza. Then we'll have Fiesta de la Familia, Summer Nights at the Pavilion concert series, continuing to work on recruitment of new members and retention of our standing members. Rotating artists at City Hall, doing those quarterly and hosting a quarterly artist reception. Mural installation or installations around the city. Continuing with our single box wraps, doing 10 installations. Recommend one sculpture for rotating art for the public art plan that we just approved. The Arts Commission retreat held every year, our holiday parade of lights, and then as needed, any dedications or ribbon cuttings for any artwork that goes up in the city. So list of dates. So the 8th of January will be officer elections, committee formation, adoption of our work plan, schedule the rotating art, and recommend 10 new signal box locations. So that's all coming up in January. At our meeting for February, go over committee reports, plan our art receptions, decide on a mural location. But,
you know, Emily, I'll interrupt. You don't have to go through all 12 months, but that's just for the city council. They like to see how we break down our work. And then also it's just kind of helpful if everyone wants to glance at that, what our year looks like in terms of the meetings and when we do what. But it would be good to go over below that the event dates.
Okay. All right.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Emily.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So quarterly, to be determined, our artist receptions that are at City Hall when we have a new rotating artist come through. January 8th through the 13th, that's when our Martin Luther King Jr. celebration video is online. June 1st is when our Saturday Streets Festival will begin with the Jazz Night and Car Show. June through August, the Summer Nights at the Pavilion, the Outdoor Concert Series. Our Summerfest is July 20th. Fiesta de la Familia is September 7th this year or next year. Our commission retreat scheduled for the month of September. Our joint commission meeting is held in October 7th. And then the holiday parade of lights and judging the floats will be December 7th.
Sorry, Emily, it's actually September 23rd for the joint meeting with council.
September 23rd. Okay, great. Thank you. Is that reflect? Oh, got it. Yep. Okay, so that's up in the, that is up in the breakdown of the topics. Okay. All right. So would we like to put out a motion to approve the work plan? All
A
right.
motion to approve the work plan?
I'll second. You're gonna be busy 2 people.
Thank you. Okay. We are moving right along. Rotating art, for the upcoming year, the artist review and selection for our first quarter artist.
So actually this meeting, I'd like to approve the artist for the whole year. It's just 4 quarters, and we know that the faculty of Pierce College would like to have 1 quarter. And Nikki has the art to show you. It's phenomenal. And then in this fall quarter, the students would like to do a show. So let's start with the Pierce College artwork so everyone can see it. There's quite a bit of descriptions that go with each painting that explain it in further detail.
Will we be able to read those later?
Absolutely, we can email you this.
That's all.
So there were about 7 artists, and I don't know if there more were going to be added to it. Yeah, it's hard to just see the paintings alone, but without the descriptions. But do you have any questions? Because we could read portions of the descriptions if that's helpful, or
I think it's an interesting
They all look-
variety.
Yeah, they all look
Yeah.
good. It's a nice variety of the faculty and their personalities.
And this was just they're just submitting a sample of their work for this portion. I'm assuming they have more. May have more pieces available.
Yeah, I think they also they're also wanted to see the space. I think some of them might pop by and just walk through City Hall and look at the space, but based on I had taken a whole bunch of pictures and sent it to the group, and based on the pictures that I took of the space, this was kind of what they have that they thought might fit well. So
That's great.
so again, the faculty would like to show spring quarter. And then there's nothing from the students, but I think we can trust that, the student artwork will be a conglomeration of many different students from different backgrounds. And they were hoping to do that fall winter quarter, because that gives them time to come back from summer break and then get everything ready. So it's October, November, December. So that would cover 2 quarters. And then Ron Snowden was the watercolor artist who won so many awards, 2 or 3
Yeah.
pages of awards. And we showed him last month, and he can do any quarter, but winter quarter would be ideal because he has so many pieces and they're ready to go. And this is just a review of his work.
Are you saying first quarter, Sally? January, February, March?
Correct.
That
Correct.
portion, winter. Okay.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then for summer, Sylvie would like to do a photo expose, and she'll explain that. And we have also 2 artists that Paige recommended, and I thought they could all partner in the summer um, based on if you approve one or more of their artworks. Now, Nikki, did you get Deb Japp's paintings from today that Paige sent?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take, Sylvie, why don't you speak first to what your thoughts are and what you would do and explain that? And then we'll look at the two new artists.
Okay, so I talked to Sally when she approached me about doing some artwork, and kind of would like to go back to my roots, and that's portraiture. And because I like doing stories and portraiture, I gave her the idea of doing an exhibition of called Souls and Stories, or Souls and Sayings. So it would be portraits of local people on the South End that I choose. That everybody has a story and everybody has an interesting story of some sort. So doing a portrait of them with a saying that they remember or they say, and then a little story about them. So kind of ordinary people, extraordinary souls kind of thing.
I really love that.
I love it. I think it's a great idea.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
wait. to see it.
That's awesome.
Thanks. So I have a list of people that I want to photograph. And I'll be working on that after the MLK video. I've already shot a couple. And I don't know how many pieces I need to have, because I'm sharing it with this space with other people, which is fine with me, because I'm gonna have to get these printed really pretty big, and that's super expensive. So, and framed. So
Okay, well, let's see what everyone thinks of the artists that Paige recommended, and then we can talk about how we could possibly combine. Thanks, Sophie.
okay.
You want to see this bio information or?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was muted. I think for the bio, she's local. I think she lives in Tacoma. And is this Deb Japp?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And if you have any questions, as they're being shown, Emily can read or Nikki can read little pieces from the description.
They're great. Do we know what sizes those are?
I don't know if it says in the description.
this.
I was trying to get an idea for having both still be.
The nice thing about City Hall, it will support any size, you know, whether they're small or
We do have a lot.
big,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what are your thoughts when you see these?
I really like them.
Interesting perspective.
You wanna see the next artist, Sally?
Yeah. What's her name again? Mary?
Yeah, her name is
What is-
Mary, this is Denon.
City Hall Gallery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they already picked who's gonna, I already know who's gonna do, the order we showed.
Are you able to see the slideshow, Sally?
Yes.
Sylvia Summer.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh, that's pretty.
That's fun. I like anything with birds, right? Oh, cute.
Yeah.
They're great.
So were we looking at combining two? Is that what we were doing?
Is that
Or
with
picking
Sylvia's?
between the three?
Having all three of them show at the same
Oh,
time.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. If I'm sharing space, if I'm gonna be showing at the same time as someone else, can I submit an artist that kind of goes with the same theme of people? Because I know in art she's I think she's 80 years old and she does paintings of people, and they're very colorful and dynamic, and she's very interesting. She played for many decades on the Seattle Symphony and Tacoma Symphony, and she's also an artist. Can I submit that one?
You know, sure. I was hoping to get it decided today, but I think we have the main ones decided between, I mean, we'll vote on this, but if it's Ron, faculty, you, and students, that's not till the summer that you would need a partner. And so you could certainly, we could go over it in the January meeting.
So who else is doing it? Who's Ron? Which
Ron Snowden, we just looked at he's the one that won like 3 pages worth of awards for the watercolors.
Okay, so he's not faculty.
No, so it's Ron,
Guy Ron.
Yeah.
Rutgers College,
okay. Got it.
and then you, and
So
then
yeah, that one.
the students.
Okay.
And Ron has a plethora, so he can do his own show in January, February, March. So absolutely, I mean, I'm fine with it if the rest of the committee's fine with it. And if you could send it to us, and then in January we could make a decision, just to be mindful to get back to Deb and Mary and whoever else doesn't make it, that either they're out or we will consider them for 2025. So we'll just want to make that decision. How does everyone feel about letting Sylvie present someone in January?
Well, her last friend worked out great, so I'm on a lot of confidence.
This is my new best friend.
Oh, the other one just got booted.
I rotate.
Yeah, you've got a
What's his
good
life?
track record, Sylvie.
Yeah, I agree.
So until that time then, do we want, January's around the corner. So we really do need to select someone for January, February, March. And we also need to let the faculty and students know if we approve them for spring and winter quarter. So if we can make those decisions and the decision to have Sylvie in the summer pending a partner, I would love to be able to vote on that in this meeting so that I can prep for the person that will be chosen for first quarter to come in and hang beginning of January.
I'm good with that.
Ron,
Mhm.
you wanna make a motion?
Where's Emily?
Hello.
Oh, there she-
I'm zooming tonight.
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to vote on those. I didn't see the other artists. I only saw Ron's. So,
Can
but
I-
I like that plan.
Can I show you? I've got 3 pieces of hers. Can I run and get them really fast?
Sure. In the
Sure.
meantime, Earl, last meeting, Adriana had submitted an artist and photos, and we looked at them, and it was a lot of mushrooms. And
She
So-
does much more than just mushrooms.
Yeah, there
right,
was a
we
lot
went
of
through, just to jog their memories, I was saying that because that's what really stood out. But we went through all of her photos, and we can do that again to refresh your memory.
Who is this that we're looking at right now?
This is the one Adriana submitted.
Oh, okay.
That's
Right,
cool.
but what's her name?
Stephanie Bros.
Right.
I don't know how to-
okay.
Broussard,
She's the same artist with the mushrooms?
yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's an oil painting artist.
Got a lot.
She actually just received her master's in of fine arts from UW in 2021. So she's a younger artist, and she's had her work showcased at different exhibits.
I like a lot of her
Look
stuff.
how pretty that is, yeah.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
So, a thought is Ron could share.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could split it.
I think that if we're able to split it,
That's
we would
nice.
draw in more people.
Yeah.
Because they're sharing in their networks with people that follow them.
Right.
That'd be
True.
great.
So
We get a
These
variety.
so we've got Deb, Mary, and Stephanie
Got their own.
and
Yeah.
Ron. I think that was everyone, right? From what we showed last week.
Can I show you mine? So
Yeah.
these are little pieces that I could afford because she charges a lot more than. So this is one.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
She does a bunch of very colorful, upbeat, and diverse portraits.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, she painted this one in special. Oops, why am I? Sorry.
And what's her name? What's her name?
Her name is Lori Davenport.
I like the idea of splitting the show and having multiple artists present at each show.
So I have a question, Phil, because you mentioned that the Historical Society would be an art gallery. Did I hear that right? And what might that look like? Because we have more.
That idea that I pitched last meeting.
Yeah. We rotate, we have like the Ivan exhibit, we've got the Tinsler library exhibit. So we rotate exhibits in and out. We could actually rotate an art exhibit in there with artists.
Oh, it's a good idea.
So right now we have, thank you, more artists than we have quarters. Even if they partner up, I think we don't have enough, time for everybody. So someone will need to wait until 2025. So let me know how you would like to proceed for each quarter.
Well, I wanted to ask, since we're talking about that, I mean, have we gotten any kind of headway on whether or not we can use some of those empty spaces that Sylvie had mentioned about? Because that would be kind of fun to be able to put some artists' showpieces into some of those available rental spaces, the Colonial Plaza Center.
At this point, we don't have the ability to do that. Not that that could potentially change. I think what we would need to do is vote on the artists that we want for City Hall for 2024. Vote on the remaining artists, whether they're out completely or we want them at some point at some location.
Yeah.
And then if something does open up, we will prioritize them. How does that sound?
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
So let's have a dialogue about what you all would like to see first, second, third, and fourth quarter in terms of the artists.
Although Sally, if they choose Pierce College, aren't they kind of set on the second and fourth quarter?
Correct.
Is there any way to combine the Pierce College for both fourth quarter?
What was that again?
They
Is there-
want the students the faculty wanted to do a show first so that they knew how to conduct the student one and how to prepare for that. So they requested a separate showing.
So how would that work then? Okay, so one quarter would be the faculty and the other quarter would be the students?
Correct. The faculty wanted to do spring quarter and the students wanted to do October, November, December.
Oh, winter quarter. Okay, because Sylvie and then whatever would do the summer quarter. Okay, I got you. Okay.
I could do fourth quarter. I'm okay with doing fourth quarter.
The students want to do the fourth
Oh,
quarter because
okay.
they're gone for summer break.
Oh, that's a good point. I think that sounds like a great plan.
So who's doing first quarter? The faculty.
Second.
No, that was second
Ron
quarter.
Oh, yeah.
First quarter, we can do, I like both of those artists that we saw, like Adriana's friend and then
And Ron.
Ron.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I think they both
Yeah.
have enough pieces to fill up the gallery just by the two of them. I don't know if we need a third unless somebody else has another idea.
I think 2 is good.
Ron has a lot of material.
Well, and just feedback that I've heard from people at City Hall, if there's too many styles of art, sometimes it's just too much for them. So
Okay.
it's something to consider.
I think I'd do a disservice to have 3 because, but the other thing is if, for example, Ron wanted to show more, the night of the reception, we can bring in one of those big white art boards and they can add to the collection just for that night.
And it would be great if we could have some sort of a more dynamic artist profile available. I mean, like this last one, I had to ask Vicky, I'm like, who are these artists? Their names weren't anywhere, and then I finally found 8.5, 11 for one artist, but then I couldn't find any information about the second artist.
Yeah, Roberto did not much that.
Yeah, and then his names weren't on any of the pieces. So I'm just kind of at a loss as who this was.
I agree. And I really coached them on what to send us. And the response was they were too busy So that was unfortunate.
I thought Renee had his down though. There was something in that bio that I read about it.
There was, but I had to look for it. Once I
Oh, yeah,
found it,
Yeah,
you know,
right. It
but
wasn't
then-
right.
and then I had to look for the other one and I'm like, well, I couldn't find anything. So I just kind of gave up. So,
You're right, because Sylvia, remember when you did that big poster board? And so it was like a big bio, so we could do that for sure.
I did
Let-
one,
let-
did it for one.
Yeah, that's what we need for all the artists, really. Can you capture that, Nikki, to do a poster board size bio and headshot? And then I wasn't there, so I don't know if they spoke, but we had the microphone and we had asked them each to speak during the event on the microphone to introduce themselves and a bit about their art. I don't know if that happened.
it didn't happen. At least I don't know, not while I was here.
I got there a little bit later.
So we'll rate that as well.
Well, the one artist,
Renee was really late.
yeah,
Got
the
here
one
when
artist
it
was
was
really late.
over.
Yeah. He missed all of the students and everything. I mean, he got there when it was pretty much almost done.
You can't be late for your own art reception. That's horrible. I mean, if you're late, why would anyone else? Okay, I'm on public. Okay. So anyways, I'll do better coaching. I mean, some of that would fall on me for not, saying be on time, be early. And then we'll do the poster board size things and we'll make sure that there's a program and they speak at such and such time. I just wanted to have it somewhat fluid so they could speak when the most people were there. And it can be more than once in the evening if it's just a 5-minute blurb, about who they are and, where they learned to paint and so on.
And can we maybe, I mean, do we extend an invitation to all the previous artists that to encourage them to come to some of these, for just to get more bodies into it as well. And then maybe even these previous artists could put out some sort of a can then forward that invitation on to some of their followers on their social media, just so we have more bodies, at the reception.
Yeah, so Bryn did an excellent job. She sent out a lot of communication, and I talked to Renee, and he was going to create an invitation. We were going to use that as well, and he was going to send it out. And he's like, I just ran out of time. I don't have time to do it. Again, it's like, wow, you've got this big forum to present yourself, and he's selected not to prioritize that, and maybe he had other things, but I'm hoping that won't happen again. So I'll work with the artists. A big reason why I want to do this now is so we can have the whole year worth of receptions scheduled out instead of doing it month by month, and being so last minute. So that's what I'm thinking with this.
Kelly, did it also get posted on the Tacoma listserv, the artist listserv?
No, it didn't.
That would probably help too.
I love
Yeah.
that. I'm getting in touch with our previous artists who showed
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because maybe they'll want to attend,
Yeah.
but maybe they can just, submit the posting along their social media channels and just to promote those other artists.
Can't hurt.
Because they're all local artists, so.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Sometimes
Yeah,
we did.
all of
Okay.
our stuff automatically gets posted to September.
Okay.
But we can get in the magazine, the city magazine, to 30,000 households if we plan it now and have the reception dates, and that's huge.
Oh, yeah. Especially the whole year.
But we've always just been quite last minute about the receptions. And we're just getting this program going, so that's okay. But I think there's no reason why we can't plan ahead for 2024 and see if we can gain more traction.
Best.
So let's circle back and decide on vote on the artists for each quarter for 2024, and then we can have a for anyone who's not selected, we'll decide if they're gonna stay on for 2025 or another opportunity, or if they're just not selected, period. So let's just start with first quarter. Who would you like to vote on to show? And it can be 2 artists. I think Earl, you said Ron and Stephanie.
Yeah,
Is there agreement among everyone for that?
Yes.
Mhm.
I agree with that.
I second that.
Is everyone in agreement to have the Pierce College faculty second quarter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And then that'll give Pierce College faculty enough time to kind of coach their students for the winter
Exactly.
quarter.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Right.
How many faculty members are there?
I think 5 or 6 submitted pieces.
Yeah, there were five in that presentation.
Okay.
And then Emily, we'll notify them that it's official. And if they don't feel like they have enough art, we could pull in a partner. So why don't you let them know that?
Okay.
But there may be more faculty that step forward to bring art.
Yeah, I had given them kind of a deadline because I knew we had this meeting. So,
Right.
but since it's official and everything, I can put out another call to the program again. So.
Thanks. Can you let them know that they're
Oh,
accepted?
yeah. Yep,
Great.
definitely.
Okay. And then summer quarter, we were looking at Sylvie and partnering with Lori Davenport.
I love that idea of the contrast with the portraits. I think that's awesome.
That sounds great.
Fantastic. And then winter, we're looking at Pierce College students. Is everyone in agreement for that?
Yes.
Yes.
So that leaves Deb Japp and Mary Renand, Paige's recommendations that we looked at today, not having a spot. Do you like their art enough that you'd like them to show at some point?
Yeah, I think 2025 would be nice. Because they're local.
For both of them?
You can do it together, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to keep them in the running. Okay. So I'll let them know that you like their art, but that there won't be room to show until 2025 unless another space opens up. Okay.
Have we made any determination on whether or not we're going to be able to use outside chambers as another part?
So yeah, in our joint commission meeting, the city council had said, could you use this space? So I talked to Mary, and that whole wall where those framed mirrors are that stick out, or those boxes, I should say, with glass, they're going to be tearing down that whole wall and redoing it. So it's really, and it's really a federal production because whoever put it up, they didn't, and where the cleaning and taking down would be easy, they didn't stick with that contractor. So it's going to be expensive and time consuming. It's not, long story short, it's not a space we can use for quite a while. Now, could we put art boards along the middle and hang art on either side? I don't know. I mean, that's a thought. That would, however, really break up that lobby, but it's not really used for anything. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the stone floor lobby going into council chambers. It's that big wide column. And we could put art boards along the center of that. The thing is that room really just stays locked until council meetings.
Yeah.
So
any art that's in there, yeah. It would get exposure on council meeting nights, but otherwise, yeah.
Well, but if they're going to be redoing that wall, can they redo it, that wall with the intent of us using it for art? Like not next year,
Yes.
but the following year.
Yeah.
I mean,
mhm,
So,
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, well, I think that wraps that up. That was a great dialogue. Thank you. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Um, Not on the agenda, but I would like to segue to MLK because it's coming up so soon and Sylvie's been working so hard and she has an update for you.
Okay, MLK. It's I'm on the third video putting some sauce on it, and it's been quite a process this year because at the MLK meeting, a Clover Park School District rep wanted us to focus on youth, and everybody agreed yes. But the problem is that Clover Park School District wouldn't let me in to shoot. I was very limited on shooting within the school and getting B-roll and all that, but I did get my interviews, and we've got quite a few interesting youth, including someone quite young, and I think it's coming out very dynamic, and you know, I'm using a lot of footage that I've gotten, you know, in the city at different events, but I'm really focusing on youth. So as much as I can, I'm putting video clips of kids and teenagers instead of adults in those, you know, like normally there would be a lot of mix. But this year I'm focusing on trying to keep it with youth. So I hope that everybody's gonna like it. I've shown it to a few people, including Daryl, and so far it's gotten some good reviews. Daryl, if you want to speak, you can on it.
I concur. I think it's going to be very dynamic. I'm really encouraged by some of the interviews. There's a lot of hope for the youth that are coming up. They have constantly surprised me and inspired me, and I think that's going to come across quite well in the video. You know, every year it's a different theme, and it's as Sylvie says, a different dynamic. I think we're going to enjoy this one. I really do.
It was super hard to contain it to 2 minutes, and there's a couple that are over 2 minutes. So we'll see what the committee says.
You always make them so special and heartfelt. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Thanks for all your hard work.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you. It's been an honor and a privilege.
All right, Sally, was there anything else before the final item on the agenda, the artist's reception recap from November?
You're on mute. You're on mute, Sally.
Oh, I gotta get the signal. I'll do the signal boxes this week. I'm sorry, Sally, I forgot.
Oh, okay, thank you. So yeah, Earl's going to be selecting locations for us. No, you can go ahead with that, Emily, and then if anyone thinks of anything else, we can add that.
All right. Yeah, so a few of us were there for the reception on November 20th for Roberto Sanchez and Renee Julio. But yes, one of the artists was late, which was unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know, Nikki, did you have a final tally? I hadn't heard how many people attended in total.
It was about 45, but most of them had dwindled out by the time we meet.
Okay. I think just personally from my observations, I think that was kind of a tough week because it was the week of Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So yeah, so that would be my only feedback in terms of the event, was just kind of the timing was rough for some people, I'm sure.
enjoyed the music, though. It's always nice to have the live music, so.
Yeah,
that's
it's
really
great touch.
appreciate it.
Definitely.
Thank you for those of you who attended. Yeah, you know, we're trying to gain more traction. So we went over that and we'll try to make those changes. I mean, the great thing about Pierce College is their constituent base is so large.
Mhm.
Really great. You know, we need to start thinking about artists for the signal boxes. And I think Bryn ended up not putting the call out in the magazine. I can't remember. But I've only gotten one response or one inquiry, and it's someone that we didn't choose last time. So we'll need to really, would you like me to put out a call to artists? I guess that's the next question. Or do you just want to submit individual names like we have been doing of artists that you would like? I guess that is a big question because we'll need to get going on that.
Well, what about some of the artists that are going to be displaying a lot of their art at the gallery? I mean, would they be interested in doing the same thing? Like Rock? Or even, Adriana's friend?
Oh, yeah, some of the younger names too.
Yeah, the artists that are showcased here to have
Yeah.
them submit something for a mural. box.
I mean, because River, I mean, that's exactly what she did.
I did that, I did the raccoons.
Yeah, you did the raccoons. I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it all depends on if that's the type of art you want to see. And is it complementary? Is it something that we don't already have? Is it suitable for the different locations? And is it busy enough that it wouldn't get graffitied? You know, that's part of it. You don't want white spaces.
Good point.
When do we have to make a decision?
Well, what I'm thinking is it'd be ideal in January to have many of them selected. To me, January and February, we could spend voting on those. I think what we want to do is relook at the art of the artists we selected, keeping the signal boxes in mind. It's very different from hanging it. Keeping in mind what I just said. And so, Nikki, could you share out those documents? And your homework will be to look at them with a fresh eye for signal box art and decide, make little notes for the next meeting if you are interested in having them present, and maybe even what particular art work, because there's quite a variety there for everybody. And that would be very, very helpful. So the name of the artwork and the pieces.
It seems like since we have 10 boxes, that it would make sense to do the call for artists too. You know, we can let these artists know, hey, we'd like you to submit something for a mural box, but we're gonna need more. I mean, we're gonna want a lot of artists. So do we do both?
Also, some of us went on the Tacoma Art Studio tour, and so I know I have some names of artists that because I was taking notes and some photographs of people's art. I don't know who else went. I know Daryl went.
Yeah, a lot of them were in the Tacoma area, so they would kind of fit our Pierce County expanding out beyond Lakewood. They would obviously have to fit our format of being more landscape than portraiture, or in some cases probably the portraitures would probably portrait orientation would work. But yeah, there was quite a selection of artists that were represented that weekend. So yeah, that's a really good thought, actually.
I love that. And I think it makes it, and I'm open, that can be a dialogue if we also want to do a call to artists, but I really like the idea of spending January and February combing through the selection that you bring forth. And how does everyone feel about doing a call to artists as well?
Doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
That's right.
Yeah,
Try
I
to,
mean, even if we get a ton of artists, we can still review them for the following year. So, I mean,
Okay, I'll do a call for artists. And remember, one is on 512 and Pack Highway, and that's a military one. So in the call, I can put that we are looking for one box in particular to have a military theme and see what people come up with. Does that sound good?
it does.
yeah, that's great.
I'll be sure to add artist selection for signal boxes to the January and February agenda. That'll still give us plenty of time to implement the boxes.
All right, well, there was no new business on the agenda unless Sally, you had something to add.
I have one thing.
Oh, yeah, Lonnie?
Yes, because the parade is this weekend, and in years past, we've always had Arts Commission members be our judges for the best entries in the parade. So we need some volunteers. I unfortunately am not going to be able to do it because I'm going to be working some other parts of the parade this year. And you're in the parade, I believe. And Phil is in the parade, I believe. So who's available to become a judge? It's a fun, I mean, it's really fun. You know, there's most original, most spirited, and best theme. And that can be for floats, that can be for performance groups, that can be for, you know, the Boy Scouts and their incredible, whatever they're doing. So you as the judges have the ability to talk amongst yourselves and figure out the three themes.
Do the judges have to stay in one spot?
No,
You know,
what
go on, Sally.
I was going to say, what you do is you meet at Park Lodge, which is the staging area, and you peruse all the floats there and the entertainers. But I think, Lonnie, why don't you elaborate? Because I think you said some were along the route because and it's not until it's dark that you can really see the lights. So you can speak to that.
Yeah, so Earl and I have done this for a number of years, and yeah, there's trade-offs on both sides. If you're looking at everybody while they're in the staging area, you know, like the performance groups aren't performing, you know,
Yeah.
they're just standing there in their group waiting to get on the parade route and do their thing. So you're not going to see like the high school band playing because they're waiting. And we've had the experience where we've had to have some of the trucks turn on their lights and turn on their music, or because you don't see the full effect. So yeah, so I think in my opinion, it would be good to be somewhere on the parade route. And then that's really just a decision of are you standing at the corner at the beginning of the parade, or somewhere in the middle of the parade, or closer to City Hall when they're gonna come in front of the stage and the tree. I mean, I'd be happy to have a sideline conversation with anybody who wants to be a judge, but it really is fun. So, do you have more on that, Earl?
I think last year I did both. I mean, from what I remember, I mean, but you know, then Darwin was kind of like, I don't think he met me at the school because he was late or something. I don't know, but I think I went to the school beforehand to kind of get a good idea of what the flavor was going to be.
Yeah.
You know, and then we did the final judging when everything was dark. From what I remember, yeah.
Okay. So there's some flexibility for how the judges want to do it. And I
What-
think Sally, did you mention that Paige wanted to, Paige might be one of our judges.
Yeah. And I think this might be a good idea too, just to take the pressure off everyone is if you don't hand it to them in the staging area, many of the floats they drive through and then they leave. So let's just plan on mailing the trophies. Instead of having that pressure of giving it there. And Shauna, you're in the parade and you win a trophy every year, so you might have feedback on this too. But that way you could be in the staging area. You know, they have to be set up by, I think, 3 or 3:30. So there's plenty of time to look at them in the staging area and then walk to another location, watch them. Everyone can have a judging form. You can write down what you like, and then you can all meet, decide, okay, who'd you pick? Pick the top winners, and then let me know and I contact them and mail the trophy. So Shauna, I'd like your opinion on that.
I really like the fact that you guys mentioned being on the parade route, because for instance, when I do it, I'm coordinating about 16 people to try to build this thing in the parking lot of the school. And they all want me to tell them what to do. And I'm like, no, like you make it look beautiful and then we'll walk and then it'll get dark and the lights light it up and it tells its own story at that point. So we're really a mess when we're at Park Lodge. So I appreciate like looking at it later, because that's what we're after, is the effect going down Main Street around that roundabout. That's what we're looking for. And when we're at Park Lodge, it's still daylight and there's chaos and there's lots of different people doing the same exact thing, trying to figure out where the rest of their group is. And like you said, the kids aren't together, they're not performing at all. So I think it's a really good benefit to do a walkthrough and understand what you're working with. And then once it's really going and dark, it sells itself.
Yeah,
So
no,
one
I think your comments were really insightful. I'd like to volunteer to do judging at or near City Hall.
Awesome. Thank you, Daryl.
So just make sure and get a form from Lonnie. I don't know if you printed off any, Lonnie, but she can email it to you as well. And it is an option as well. We'll have the MC, and Nessa McClendon's going to be our MC, and she'll be on a stage that gives you some elevation, and you can be on that stage so that you can view
Yeah,
the
that's
float.
what I did last year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
What-
we have Daryl
what-
and Paige.
What time do you want us there if we were to volunteer?
For judging, I think as long as you're there, I would say it's going to be 4:00 to 5:30.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mhm.
I mean, the parade starts at 4:30 at Park Lodge, but that would give you time if you wanna look at everything at Park Lodge a little bit and then walk over to the stage at City Hall, or, get yourself organized at the stage at City Hall. It probably takes the parade, I don't know what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get from Park Lodge down to City Hall. When it starts, as far as the performers making their way down.
I want to volunteer, but I think I'll be too distracted because I'm going to try to grab some more footage that I would if I weren't.
Thank you. So we've got Paige. Earl, are you doing it again this year?
I didn't really want to, but sure.
But you don't know. You're so much.
And then we've got Daryl. And then
Yes.
so Daryl, thank you. And then Adriana, are you going to try it?
Yeah, I'll try to make it, and I'll text you, Lonnie, to get whatever other details or.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
And then Daryl.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Shauna. That's invaluable feedback. Okay, and then I'll mail out the trophies.
Shauna, is your group kids?
No. They're actually, there might be about 4 children that walk with their moms. That's like a mom's group.
Hmm,
Some husbands will join us too. We never know.
okay.
She's won a couple of times.
Yeah.
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 Got to collect.
I do,
They take
I
it
do
serious.
know someone, Sylvie Angelina McDonegal, and she's the PTA president for Harrison Prep, and she's gonna have students, some kids out there. So if you need me to connect you, I can.
Yeah, I'd like to get out there and do, if they're putting a float together, that would be great if I could get some shots of them doing that. Because it's
Okay.
it's in the public, so I don't need permissions.
Yeah, and I mean the Clover Park School District's putting together, I think they brought 350 students last year, so
Oh, okay.
they'll be there and with the bus and everything.
Oh, good, good. Great.
Thanks, everyone. Anything else?
All right.
Yeah, you can wrap it up, Emily.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Our next meeting is January 8th, 5 p.m. Ready to kick off 2024. So we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Glad to see everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.